Hey everybody, it's October and it's Halloween soon. There's lots of festivities, parties, activities that come along with the holiday of Halloween. And in this video, I'll be sharing with you some ways that we can be more inclusive of people with disabilities for the festivities of Halloween.
My name is Angela and I'm a visually impaired designer.
Now let's first talk about costumes. Now, for someone who has a disability, it could be kind of fun to find a way to incorporate their disability in their costume. For example, one year I was a pirate because I don't see very well out of one of my eyes. And so I was like, I'm just gonna embrace this. I'm gonna wear an eye patch and it's not gonna affect me, and my costume will be fun and exciting. Another idea for someone who's visually impaired and is sensitive to light and prefers wearing sunglasses, you could be a blind mice, you could be a rock star or something like that that kind of helps promote the fact that you're wearing sunglasses, and it's like helping out with the fact that you're visually impaired and playing off of that in your costume. There's ways you can incorporate your mobility aid or any other type of aid that helps you with your disability and make it part of your costume. So I've seen so many creative costumes. All you have to do is Google it and you can find a lot of different costumes. I've seen wheelchairs turned into a chariot for someone who wanted to be Cinderella for their costume. I've seen rockets, I've seen wagons, I've seen all types of cool things when it comes to changing your wheelchair and modifying it, a Batmobile, that kind of thing. So let's be creative and find ways to incorporate our mobility aids or whatever aids it takes for our disability and make it fun. If you have a cane, you can make it into a staff. If that works with your costume, you can make it into a lightsaber. Whatever it is that you're using for your costume, use your aid to help. It could even be fun if it's appropriate in the situation. If you have like a service dog or a guide dog, to dress up your service or guide dog to kind of match you or play off of your costume as well. Alright, so now let's talk about trick-or-treating. This is a tradition where people go from house to house and get treats and just wear their costumes and go around the neighborhood. And there's a couple of things we can do here. So one of them would be making sure that your walkways are clear. You don't have obstacles like bikes or toys that are on the sidewalks to get to your door. You don't have brush or bushes or tree limbs that are gonna hit someone who's walking down your sidewalk. And even including making sure you don't have like Halloween decor that's on the sidewalk or making it difficult to walk on the normal path. This can make a huge difference for someone who is going to be walking around the neighborhood and they're having to constantly dodge obstacles. So just do your part to make it easy for them. If you have a lot of stairs that lead up to your door and you don't have a ramp or anything like that, you could be creative and sit on the curb so they don't have to go up the stairs. You could create some kind of chute. I saw a lot of those last year. And they would shoot the candy down it and they would stand at their porch, and then it would go to the street straight to the person without having to have any physical contact at all. Another important thing to do is to make sure you're paying attention to the lighting. So turning on any outside lights that you have, making sure you pay attention to not having strobe lights if you can help it. Strobe lights can be really hard for people with epilepsy, autism, even people with visual impairments. There's lots of different people who struggle with strobe lights. Lighting is super important to pay attention to for those who are visually impaired. As someone who's visually impaired, it can be difficult to see when it's dark. There are people who are night blind, meaning they can't see in the dark very well, and it becomes more difficult to make sure that you don't run into any barriers or just to get around safely. So making sure you pay attention to having lights on and making it easy for the people coming around to see well. When it comes to the bowl or the platter that you'll be giving your item out that you're giving to your guests, it is thoughtful to make sure that it has high contrast with whatever you're choosing to hand out. So if you have candies that are like oranges and browns and whatever, maybe try using like a blue bowl or a plate so that it's easy for someone to grab one and see the contrast difference between the bowl and what you're giving out. Alright, so what does a blue pumpkin mean and what does a teal pumpkin mean? Let's talk about the meaning of these and what we can do to help with these. So first we'll talk about a teal pumpkin. A teal pumpkin means that you are giving out something that is non-food or is food allergy friendly. So there are a lot of people who are allergic to certain foods. There's pretty much people allergic to everything: chocolate, peanuts, any kind of nuts. There's people allergic to dairy, there's people allergic to gluten. So either you can find something that is friendly for all those allergies, or you can get a small amount of something for people who have allergies. So if a child comes to your door and they have a teal pumpkin that they're using to hold their candy in, that signifies to you that they're a person who has some sort of food allergy. And so it's an indicator to you that they need something that is going to be safe for them. So if you have something that is non-food, you can offer them that. You can politely ask them what their food allergy is to make sure that they get something that they can actually have, or just leave it up to their parents to kind of figure out what best you have that they can take. Now, if you want to help with cause and be an advocate, it is a thing to paint a pumpkin teal and put it on your porch. That way, someone who has a child who has food allergies or is just aware of this sign, they will see the teal pumpkin on your porch and know automatically that means that you have options that aren't just food. This can also be helpful in other ways. For example, maybe some parents just don't want their kids to have so much candy. They're trying to be aware of how much sugar that they're taking in. When you go around a whole neighborhood and you get so much sugar, it's nice to have houses that don't have just candy. And so by signifying that you have something other than candy, they know that this is a good house for us to go to get something that's not necessarily just sugar. Alright, so if a person comes to your door with a blue pumpkin, more of like a pure blue, normal blue color, that means that that child has autism. And so this signifies to you, alright, this person has autism. They might act a little different than the average child, and maybe I need to give them a little more space, a little more time to think about what they want to take. They're gonna look a little harder. Maybe they would grab more than you would typically think a child would take. But it's okay because you know that they have autism, and so you can kind of be a little patient with them and understanding that they have a disability and that they're doing their best and they're just trying to enjoy Halloween like everyone else. There might even be a child or an adult who looks older than you would typically think would be going trick-or-treating. Try not to judge them and realize that age doesn't always equal maturity. And it's okay for them to be trick-or-treating because it's an appropriate activity for them and their cognitive abilities. Let's keep in mind that not all disabilities are visible. There are invisible disabilities. So if there's a child who's not talking, they don't say trick-or-treat, they don't say thank you, it's okay, you know, maybe there's a reason why they aren't saying these things that you would typically expect someone to say. Maybe they're not making eye contact or being social in any way. There's a chance that they have a reason why, and it's okay. So the key is to just be patient and adaptive in the moment if you notice something's going on. And this way we can really cater to the needs of the children in our neighborhoods and help them out and have a good experience for Halloween alongside all the people who might not have a disability or have to worry about any type of allergies. I would love to hear from anyone in the comments below if you have a child who has a disability, or you grew up being a child with a disability and you went trick-or-treating or to parties for Halloween, that kind of thing. What have you found helpful? What do you suggest that people do to be more inclusive of people with disabilities? What problems have you seen? Comment below and we can have a conversation about this and continue adding to the list of things that might be helpful to make Halloween a fun, inclusive holiday for everyone. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up so I know you like this content. Subscribe to my channel below and turn on the notification bell so you can hear about any videos that I put out in the future. I hope that you all enjoy the rest of your October, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!